What's going on, everyone? My name's Tenebris, and welcome to my guide on how to build a pagoda here in Nightingale. When you get the pagoda tile set, you'll probably want to put together a proper Japanese pagoda for yourself. But there's a lot that actually goes into that, as it's one of the more technical builds you can make in the game as of right now. It's really difficult to build a pagoda without external support, and more so, it's rather difficult to place in tiered roofs like this on a build. But after a ton of experimenting, I finally figured this out. So today, I'll show you how to build your very own pagoda here in Nightingale. A beautiful lookout tower, portal station, or whatever you need this structure to be. This will be a step-by-step guide, and if you need the resource count, it'll be in a pinned comment down below. First, we'll place in our foundation. We'll be making a 5x5 square here as the base. You'll want to make sure you raise the foundations with R and scroll wheel to keep them above any sort of foliage or rocks. You'll want to make sure that you aren't adding any extra foundations, so check that your build count is up to 25 before moving on here. We'll be building our main tower and the 3x3 in the middle and using the outer edge as a decorative porch. We'll then remove a foundation and place in our stairs. You'll want this to be the planned front of your building. Next is the most essential step in building a pagoda, our vertical support. With a standard tower, you could get away without placing in pillars, but in order for us to pull off our tiered roofs, we'll need this support in place. We'll place down Tudor support pillars going 8 tall. In order to build this, you'll probably want to play the Thinned Veil Miner card, or any miner card that gives the low gravity effect. It makes building tall structures a lot easier. Each support pillar will go on the corner of that 3x3 tile space we'll be building the pagoda on. We'll then take our pagoda pillars for our porch, where we'll place them with a 2-wide gap, but meet in the middle tiles for symmetry. This build was actually still being designed partially while I was filming, but it was my 5th time trying to put together a pagoda, so I knew most of what I was doing, but this porch was kinda on the fly. In the future, we'll place a door leading out to it, so save yourself a hassle and place an extra door when we place our next set of tiles. Now we'll place down our main floor's walls. Again, remember to place a door to the outside if you'd like to use the porch at the back of the building. Now for another essential step in building this pagoda. We'll build our walls up in tiers of 2. These will act as seating points for each roof tier, allowing us to pull off that true-to-life pagoda style. Now with this, we're ready to place our starter roofs and then fill in the walls. But real quickly, to explain this design a bit, I was using the hordes pagoda as a reference image, so I really wanted the doubled roof at the bottom, which we'll get to once we're done placing in each tier. So for the roof placement, we're going to put in each roof at each interval of latticed windows here. And now we'll move on to place a roof going around the porch. After placing that all in, we'll then move on to filling in the lattice windows, which we'll place 7 tall. With the walls up, we'll then complete each roof tier. It's much easier to place the roofs from top to bottom. And again, the low gravity effect is super handy for this part. We'll then complete the porch by placing a railing around the edge. And with that, we're now over halfway done. At this point, the costs will be very high as we've completed the bulk of the structure. Ceramic should be 308, paint at 331, gilded lumber at 299, carved wood at 212, lumber and beams both at 32, and then shingles at 192. This is where our build from yesterday, the workshop, will be a huge help for getting these resources cranked out in just about an hour or so. Once you've got these placed down, it's time to move on to the final phase of the build, a spiral inner staircase and the top floor. This is where I changed my mind and added a door. Instant regret though. You can't really make small changes to large builds without having some collateral damage, so we'll get that all fixed up here. Now, at this point, my frames started tanking. Yours might as well. It's a lot of lighting updates for the game at this point, so you'll want to relog to fix that. Now for the spiral staircase, we're going to take Tudor upper floors, as they're a nice and inexpensive type of wooden plank to use. We'll take them and go a gap of 1 tile, and then raise them up by a tile as well. These will act as the support points for placing our staircase in. Snapping points at this part of the build will be kinda tough to hit, so just make small movements and you'll get it. But also, because there's like 50 snap points at any given moment, placement will become a bit laggy, just as a heads up. It'll go away when you're done with the build, it's just kinda an inevitable outcome here. But luckily, once you have the upper floors in, that's the hard part done. All the stairs snapping points will be very easy to place down moving forwards. The staircase will cost 28 lumber, 14 gilded lumber, 14 carved wood, and 14 paint. So let's now finish this build off with the top floor. For the flooring, we'll again use those Tudor top floors we used for the staircase. You'll want to make sure your floor is all facing the same direction. Then we'll place a pagoda guard railing down. We'll then take our pavilion walls for the outer wall here, and this is again where those support pillars we placed at the beginning of the build will come in handy. The roof tile takes up the snapping point on the wall, so to have a new one, we'll place these pavilion walls off the pillars instead. And I almost got ahead of myself here, but the cost so far for the top floor is 20 lumber, 40 carved wood, and then 2 paint. Then for the roof, we're gonna use a design I like that has a bit of a skylight in it. We'll place down our regular roof until we get to the top point here. Then we'll switch things up to gables and place them on each roof. And that'll be the end of the build. Which costs us 20 gilded lumber, 24 ceramic, 24 shingles, and 20 paint. In total, this build will cost you 332 ceramic, 365 paint, 333 gilded lumber, 226 carved wood, 216 shingles, 60 lumber, and 32 beams. So there you have it, my pagoda build in Nightingale in a step-by-step tutorial. Hopefully this will help you with building your own pagoda, or maybe even other complex structures along the way. But for now, thank you for watching, subscribe to stick around for more Nightingale, and I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, peace.